Hey everyone, and welcome to AMS Automotive Evolution North America with me, Christopher Ludwig. I'm here with Abby Chitwood, Director of Expansion Engineering at Panasonic Energy North America, a very important battery cell manufacturer, already with a gigafactory running in Sparks and building a new one in beautiful Kansas. So some huge opportunities coming, and that's why we're excited that Abby can join us on a panel today and talk more about us with the opportunities ahead. So Abby, with the priorities to ramp up production, can you tell us what some of your key focus areas are now?
Yeah, absolutely. At Panasonic, we're all about getting more gigawatt hours output out of our factories that we're designing, right? So looking at increased density, being more aggressive in our production flow layouts, doing automation for material movement, things like that, so we can hit our 200 gigawatt hour production by the year 2031, roughly.
So big growth to come. And in building a new factory or expanding factories, what sort of opportunities does that bring you to perhaps increase that gigawatt per hour versus perhaps the existing? So do you see more opportunity to do some of those things that you just mentioned?
Yeah, definitely looking at expanding and building more gigafactories. That's how we get the most growth over the shortest period of time. Of course, we're optimizing our current production lines in GF1, but as we continue to grow, that's where we really see that difference and that big growth opportunities for us.
Yeah, absolutely. And just, Gigafactory 1, that's the one in Sparks.
Yes.
So, and actually on that, so the new factory in Kansas will also build cylindrical cells. So I think the same standard as what's in Sparks. Does that bring up more opportunity for standardization across your production?
Yeah, absolutely. We're looking at 2170s, both in the Sparks facility and the Kansas facility. That allows us to standardize, but it also allows us to learn about all the issues we had in Reno and make improvements, right? So what can we improve? How can we be better? How can we be faster? How can we have higher quality while still standardizing things like maintenance procedures so we can keep that knowledge base really strong within the company?
Absolutely. And one thing that strikes me, how important the quality is for the battery cell, because if you lose that in factory any cell, it could impact greatly on the range. So how does that impact backwards then on your production, planning that flow?
Yeah, there's a lot of things we do for quality within the actual factory design. Things like, how do we do air handling? How do we do filters? Do we do positive pressure clean rooms? And how do we standardize that, not just for Panasonic, but throughout the industry, right? Having more of these standards so we can make the industry better as a whole and prevent those, especially things like contamination, external contamination to our cells, is something that we're continuing to work on.
Yeah, and that's a fascinating process with the dry rooms, the lock rooms, and how that goes. So many in the automotive industry probably just still getting to learn aspects of those. Finally, another aspect is environmental impact, reducing emissions. Battery cell production is very energy intensive, so this plays a role. Panasonic has some strong goals. Can you talk a little bit about how this is impacting what you're planning in your production?
Yeah, absolutely. At Panasonic, we're committed to doing carbon neutrality by 2030, which means new factories and our existing factories looking at ways to be more efficient, reduce our overall CO2 emissions. So looking at what our own contribution is to those CO2 emissions, things like going green, doing carbon neutral facilities, fully electric facilities, things like that. We're looking to own that piece of it. And then also looking to the future and developing supply chains to help reduce overall carbon emissions for the entire process. Those are all initiatives that we have here at Panasonic Energy.
And that's going to need the cooperation of many of the industry as well, especially in building out those supply chains effectively. Abby, maybe just a last question. It seems to me a really exciting role with the new factory. So what is most exciting to you as you look ahead?
I mean, there's so much growth in the industry, so that's something I'm very excited about personally. But just on a macro level, right? I think everybody wants to make a difference, and we can see that really happening at Panasonic Energy. So that opportunity to really move the needle in terms of carbon emissions, and the cells we've made in Reno, right? 8 billion cells shipped. That's over 2 million EVs. That's a huge, huge impact. So that's something that really keeps me motivated and is very, very exciting for other professionals looking to get into the industry.
Well, we'd love to keep following that and that progress along. So Abby's joined us on a panel today, so we'll be sharing highlights and insights from that discussion as well. Abby, thank you so much for joining us here at AMS Automotive Evolution North America, and look forward to keeping up with the journey.
Thank you.
Thank you.